Hi, welcome to Wisecat. Okay, so this time I have something pretty exciting to describe to you because, well, I'm excited about it because I think this is thrilling, makes my life so much easier, and I've been looking forward to getting into this. Over the New Year's break, I actually had some time to just geek out. And so, oh, by the way, disclaimer, I am not coming to you today as an expert in this. I am an absolute Ansible newbie, but that is the toy that I decided to play with over the New Year break. Ansible. And it's awesome! Okay, why is it so awesome? Because, for example, it can set up a Moodle server in, say, about 2 minutes. I'm not kidding. I'm talking about everything. The firewall, the database, the SQL database, everything. All right, all set up in 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes or so. Right, and so that's what I'm going to do right now in this video, and I'm going to show it to you. And also on GitHub, right behind me, you can see Ansible Moodle Virtualbox. That's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to set up a Virtualbox virtual server on my computer now that runs, it's basically going to be Debian11, and it's going to run a copy of Moodle in a few minutes. So let's get started. So I'm going to shrink myself into the corner. Yeah, get in the corner. Yeah, sit in the corner. There we go. And I am going to bring up my VirtualBox. So a VirtualBox, I'm not sure if everybody knows it, but anyway, the cool thing is that you can run different OSs on it. I often use it to play with different configurations and things like that. Like I was playing with Grav the other day. Open source event manager I gave a try. I've got a Kali instance in there, which is also fun. Different kind of fun. But anyway, what I've got here is I've got a Debian11, which is a plain Debian11 install. All it's got configured is basically I added myself as a user and I fired it up. So I'm going to just start that up right there. And there it is. It's running. Now, the information that I'm going to need from this server. So this is just, if it's a VPS, it's just a VPS with a blank install of Debian11. Right, that's all it is. So if you fire one of these up on, say, DigitalOcean or Linode or whatever, then you can have this actually running yourself. So I'm just going to log on in here. And yeah, in here, I am going to look at the IP address because that's all I really need to know. I need to know that this IP address is something that I can actually use. And I can see it's there. I can't really point to it because this is in VirtualBox. But maybe if I do that. No, I can't get a mouse cursor over the top. Okay. I'm going to close that off there. No, still not going to do it. But you can see just to the right of my mouse cursor now, there's that line that says INET, and it's 192.168.86.183. That is my IPv4 address for this server. So I'm going to use that to define my hosts. So first of all, I'm just going to go through it and do it. And then I thought it would be 183, and there it is. There's 183, trying to get through to 183. It's not HTTPS, it's HTTP. Oh, wonder if that's going to give me trouble later. Anyway, basically saying no connection is happening, cannot connect. My browser cannot connect because I haven't installed anything yet. Okay, so let's go and install it. So, what I'm going to want to do is cd to slash. I'm going to go to my RAM so that it doesn't stick around. And I'm going to do exactly what you guys can do. If you want to follow along in this video and you've got your own virtual server ready to go, just go to the link below, which is my Ansible Moodle VirtualBox Git repository here. And I've got a few files in there, and I'll explain them a little bit later. But you just need to get the code and copy that to the to your clipboard so that you can come back to here and say git clone, and we want to clone that. And so that basically gets those files so that now I can work with them. Right, and that's all that does, right? So here we've got our Git files, and you can see that there are a few different things. These are templates here. This config.php is J2 is a template. vhost, that's a template file for my virtual host. configuration, because of course you're going to need to set that up as well. This is the playbook, the newmoodle.yaml, and that's an interesting file, so we'll have a bit of a look at that in just a second. And then there's also the hosts file, which is where we're going to say what server we actually want to do. So I'm just going to go into hosts, so nano hosts, and you can see here I've got 1.92.168.121, and I'm going to make that 86 because it was 86 and it was 183. That was our IP address. And I might leave the domain name as fake.domain.com. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to my etc hosts file and actually put that in. So that's my hosts file here. This is going to get a little confusing because the hosts file that I'm talking about now is sudo nano /etc/hosts. And this is like a way of bypassing your DNS resolver, and I've got a few bits of info down there that I didn't really want to show, but whatever. Anyway, I've got this line here that says, 192.168.86.183. Oh, it's already in there. Fake.domain.com. Yeah, previously I've tried this a few times before. As I said, I was playing with it over New Year's. So anyway, this is equivalent to having a DNS entry, but it's only going to be available on my computer here. So it'll work on my machine. It won't work on your machine. So don't go putting in fake.domain.com. It won't get you anywhere. Or it'll get you someplace that I don't know where it is. Anyway, so now I've got my hosts file set up. This is the hosts that tells Ansible that there's a group called New Moodle servers. And inside there we have the host is this IP address, and that IP address space should have the there's a variable called Moodle domain, and that should be fake.domain.com, and that'll make a little bit more sense later. But basically with that done, I'm ready to go. So you ready to make a Moodle? Let's go make a Moodle, shall we? So in order to do this, and if you're on Windows, if you're on Mac or something, you're going to have to Google how to install Ansible. For people on Linux, for me, it was just sudo apt install Ansible. That's all I had to do to install Ansible. But you do need Ansible installed on the computer that you're using to launch the playbooks from. One of the cool things about Ansible is that Debian Virtualbox server, this one here, I do not need to. Oh, and I got a few error messages. Who cares? I do not need to install anything on that box. It just uses SSH to get right in. So actually, I might want to try one thing. SSH. Just make sure that I can actually. Adam at 192.168.86.183, wasn't it? Yep. So I've been able to SSH straight in using key-based authentication. Might actually do another video about key in authentication, but basically, if you want to do your key authentication, you can just add, say, SSH-copy-ID, and that'll copy your SSH keys across and things like that. But anyway, better topic for another one. The important thing is that I can SSH into the server, and that's all I need to be able to do. And now I'm ready to go. So here we go. Ansible, and it's a playbook that I'm going to be running. Right, and I'm going to make this a bit bigger. So the playbook that I want to run is called noomoodle.yaml, right? And the noomoodle.yaml is going to use an inventory file. That's where we've specified our hosts, and that's what we want there. Now inside here we do need sudo, so become equals true is one of the directives in Ansible, which means that I'm going to need it to have a sudo password. So I'm going to specify the password by saying -K, which means, hey, Ansible, before you get started, ask me what the sudo password is. Otherwise, when you need it, you won't have it, and that'll suck. So here we go. 2 minutes or so. I really should have set up a timer for this. But anyway, you can see I've got this become password. It's asking me, what is the become password? I type in that password and ready, it's off and it's running and it's not working. Why? What have I done here? Oh, I have an unspecified value. Yeah, that's right. I was messing with it. Okay. So let's see. Sudo, don't need sudo for this one. I just need to nano that playbook. Yeah. I told you I'm a newbie at this, right? What I do have is max uploadable file size. That is there. So it's telling me. Let's see. All right, now here we go. Yeah. Newbie. Unable to read. Errors. Error appears to be there. Line 232, column 15. Oh, I can see what's happened here. All right. It's actually, you look at it. It's telling me. It's like, you've got this item like this, and it should be written like this. It needs quotes. It needs double quotes, and I didn't put in double quotes. Oh, man, I suck so bad. All right, let's go in and find it. And this is... It's actually all the way down the bottom because it's down here where I'm actually changing the PHP variables, right? There it is. See, these ones here, max upload file, these need to be in quotes. Okay. Exercise in listening to your server. Your server is actually going to tell you what's wrong. All right. I will recommit that and add the double quotes, and I will commit that to actually, I might just, why not? Git add noomoodle.yaml, git commit dash yeah, you can see that I upload these things raw, right? I do not tell you any, I don't not hold anything. Add double quotes. I'm doing this now because I will forget to do it later. Okay, added some double quotes. All right, that's what I did. Boom, inserted, and I'm going to git push that. Okay, it's up, it's done. Okay, that has been upgraded. Right, let's try it again. By the way, Git stuff is just me fixing the Git repository for you guys, so when you download it, it should be right. Okay, let's try it now. Git, okay, become password. So asking me for that sudo password. I give it the sudo password and I say off to the races with you. And this time it's working great. It gathers facts. The first thing it does is gathers facts. Apparently you can do all sorts of cool stuff with the gathering facts. It is configuring the firewall, and actually I want it to limit an additional port here. I've specified 42324, and that's because I will be wanting to remove the allowing the limit access to on port 22. I don't like keeping my SSH port at port 22, so that's what that's doing. And that's already set up the firewall right there. All right. Changed means something has actually changed on the server. Okay just means, yeah, it found it. So it looked at the firewall and set the default policy to deny, but it found nothing needed to be done. It was already done. So it's cool. I'm just going to chill out. And Ansible knows when it needs to have some chill, which is awesome. This now, Ansible apt install packages for lep. All right, that seems like it's frozen, right? Well, it's not frozen. What that's doing is that was installing all of the apt install packages. So now actually, if I go to, right, this one, problem loading page. Let's try with the HTTP. Come on. Yeah, there we go. So you see right now, we've got welcome to the Nginx because Nginx is now installed. Nginx is already installed and the port is open so I can get through on port 80. And so that has installed it. It's installing certbot right now. Look at that. It's installing certbot. It is installing, it's making the certbot symlink and everything ready to go. So if I actually wanted to deploy this on a proper server and put it out there open to the open internet, I would want to enable HTTPS. It is making it so I can do that with one command next. It's set up my Moodle data directory right there. Look at that. And now it's cloning Moodle in there. And it's cloning it with Moodle 4.1. it is setting that up already. Right, can you see why I'm getting excited about this? Because I did a video on how to set up Moodle. It was an hour long or so. And this is, 2 minutes. So, if you use Ansible to do it, you get it over and done in 2 minutes. Right, it's setting changing the ownership, file ownership and everything like that. It has set up restarted Nginx. It has added a Postgres user. It has added the Postgres database. It even changes the post max size and upload fact size in PHP INI. Also, max input time, execution time. I just like putting those up a bit. It changed the memory limit to 256 megabytes, and it changed it max input vars. Now, this is one that's actually coming up with Moodle 4.0, 4.1. Max input vars needs to be greater than 5,000. So there you go. You've got that change is made in php.ini. Restarts PHP to make sure that all those take place properly, and it has finished. And it says, it gives me a nice little summary. It says, okay, 30 of them were okay. 28 of them actually had to have stuff happen. Failed is 0, so that means that everything should have worked. So let's go back to our web browser. And when we refresh, we should see a Moodle. And there's the Moodle. Look at that. And I can continue. And everything's installed. Well, site not HTTPS. Well, duh. I didn't set up site to be HTTPS. Oh, by the way, look at the domain. See? fake.domain.com. It is actually there properly like that. Okay, so now I can continue. Installation. Installing the system. That's your 2-minute Moodles. 2-minute Moodles! Oh my god. 2-minute Moodles. Okay. I'm going to put that on the card of this video. But there's the thing is that if you want a Moodle to play around with, I mean, nowadays, if I need to set up a video, hi, welcome to Wisecat. In today's video, I'm going to look at some sort of disposable Moodle thing happening. Boom, I can actually do that using this. Well, actually, with Virtualbox, there's an even easier way. I just, but anyway, I mean, it's running. It's installed. There we go. Admin user address, email address. I need Adam wisecat.net. I'll just add my email address in there. It doesn't really matter because this email I'm not planning on configuring SMTP for it. Server time zone Australia Melbourne. No, that's not actually where I am, but close enough. All right. Oh, what have I missed? Oh, I need a password. Of course, I need a password. Let's go. Just a sec while I grab a password. I am going to use the generator. Gotta keep it generated. All right, yay. So there we go. Update profile. Oh, come on. My generator didn't have... Okay. Big goodie mark. Yeah, here we go. How about now? Yeah, there we go. Okay, another test of Ansible. I'm going to make that the... I'm going to copy that and I'll paste that. That's the name of my site here. Boom. And support contact should be Adam at Wisecat. Yep, that's me. Hey. Boom. And there we go. Look. See how long it took? That was like, what, 2 minutes? 3 minutes? Maybe 3 minutes all the way through. I mean... Seriously, have you ever seen a Moodle set up in 3 minutes? I mean, seriously, that is ridiculously fast. And the other cool thing is that if we go to the notifications page, for example, you can see that it has set us up with Moodle 4.1, the latest build. Look at that. It has also set up a cron job. It has set up everything we need. So, okay. Now you've seen it, and you probably understand why I am geeking so hard about this, right? So let's have a quick look at what exactly happened here. All right, so the first thing it does is it gathers some facts, and I don't quite understand that myself. As I said, I'm an Ansible newbie. But then after it does the gathering facts, it uses, supposedly uses those facts. You can use that to do all sorts of things, which I will learn about in the future. But then it configures the firewall, sets the policies, and blah, 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 blah. Does all of these things. It does all of these tasks. And each of these tasks has been configured in that playbook, because each of these tasks are plays that you do put in your playbook, and then it does each of these plays in turn. It enables the firewall and then installs the packages for LEP, right? That's Linux, Nginx, Postgres, and PHP. It installs certbot and makes the symlink and everything like that that it has to do for certbot. It sets up a Moodle directory and sets up a Moodle data directory and here. And then it also clones Moodle into the www folder as per my usual place. I like to put everything in the ./srv folder. That's just my thing. And then it changes the ownership to make sure that www data has access. So if I wanted to install plugins through the web interface, no problem, can do. It sets the cron job. This is where it's setting the cron job to run each minute. And it does that. It sets up the Moodle config.php. That uses the config.php.j2 template. So if you want to tweak your Moodle config.php before you actually run the Ansible, you can do it. It sets up Moodle Nginx virtual host. It sets up adds a symlink for the Nginx virtual host too. So this symlink is, how you enable a virtual host in Nginx. You usually put the virtual host file is in sites available, and then you symlink it to sites enabled to enable it. Removes the default site of Nginx, which some people consider a massive security issue if you leave the default site configuration in there. So it removes that anyway. I mean, I don't know. I tend not to care about it that much. I don't know. Do you think it's a big issue? Comment. And then, of course, to make sure that those changes take effect, it restarts Nginx. Adds a Postgres user. Adds a Postgres database. Not actually proud of how I did that, but I'll show you. Then makes a few changes to php.ini before restarting PHP FPM so that those changes take effect as well. And then you're done. Your whole Moodle has been set up. All these things that otherwise would be single individual commands are all achieved by running the playbook. So, shall we have a look at the playbook itself? Okay, no problem. Well, actually... Well, yeah, sure. I'm just going to use nano to go into it. But noomoodle.yaml, this is the YAML file itself. Now, YAML files I found was a little bit weird, especially because the indenting that it likes, it hates tabs, right? Don't use tabs when you're trying to do this indenting. It should always be 2 spaces. Why 2 spaces? I don't know. Why not 1 space? I would have thought 1 space would be fine, but no, apparently it likes 2 spaces. I don't know. I don't think that actually matters, but I don't know. I read somewhere 2 spaces is good, and I thought, okay, 2 spaces is easy to see anyway. But anyway, I actually set my editors up so that if I hit the tab key, it puts in 2 spaces, right? Moodle, there we go. These first part here is where these are all variables that I actually specified and said, hey, I want these variables. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger if I can. Yeah, that's a bit better, isn't it? My head's not that big to get in the way. All right, so these are the variables that you might want to set. So the first one here is the directory. Where should it go? And by the way, if I want to add a second one, I can just change this, right? I can just change this to, let's say, okay, I'll do this in a minute, right? But let's change this to second Moodle. Right? So now I can install a second instance of Moodle on this server and have it run properly. All right? I'll show you that in just a sec because this other stuff is really cool. Moodle git branch. There you go. There's where I specify the git branch. If I wanted Moodle 4.0, boom, that will install 4.0. If I wanted, or any other branch. Disable cron. This is an option for, let's say that I want to install a Moodle, but I don't want the cron job to be enabled. That will still put a cron job in the cron tab, but it will also put a little hashtag out the front, comments it out so that it's there, but it's not working. All right, so that can be true, and that can be useful if you don't want cron to just run before you've actually had a chance to set up. Database name, I just use as the default. Here we have a variable. This is a variable saying this Moodle that should be the name of the database as well, so that these are consistent. And it'll do that even when I set up my second Moodle. Database user should be the same thing with user appended to the back end. All right, maybe I shouldn't go that simple, but it doesn't really matter. And then the next variable, of course, is the database password. Now, these all will be added to the config.php as well, because there are placeholders. The same placeholders can go into, so I've got, curly braces, db pass for the database password that needs to be specified in config.php. So all I have to do is change it once here, and it'll change over there. My SSH port that I want to configure afterwards because I'll have to go in later and configure SSHD config to change the port number, but it sets up the firewall, so I'm ready to do that. Right, and another thing that's a common one is, of course, PHP by default when you just install it, it's got max upload file size and post max file size is set to 2 megabytes, and so hey, that's too small. Come on. I mean, nothing's under 2 megabytes these days, except for maybe this Ansible Playbook. But it's 200 megabytes is a bit more reasonable. Give me a little bit of leeway. Right, and then afterwards we've got this section here. This one here says become true, and this means become root. Right, I don't know what it's just become, but anyway, it's very becoming. So when you specify become true, that means just run these as root. So sudo it up. So the next thing is that I've got this task thing, and I start off with the task with a name, name the task, and that's why this displays on the screen when it's actually doing each of these tasks. It'll tell us that. And so the first one is use a module called apt, and the package, the name of the package that we want to look at is UFW. So that's the firewall. And the state should be present. It should exist on the server. It should be there, right? If it's not there, make it there, right? So that installs UFW. And so I've also got some tags here, and the tags allow me to choose specific tasks and not other tasks by tag. So I can say, I want this tag here. I want these to run. I can say, go by firewall. If I say, do the firewall stuff, then this task will run. If I said, do virtual host, this wouldn't run because it doesn't have the virtual host tag. So tags are useful too. Right? It sets the default policy to deny. Same, UFW. Now that I've got UFW installed, UFW and policy deny. That should be the policy. Limit access to TCP port. What this is the equivalent is UFW limit that SSH port, and I'm specifying the protocol too. It's TCP because hey, it's SSH. It's not going to be UDP. It's going to be TCP. Right? It does the other firewall rules as well, and I've even got limit access to TCP port 80. So actually, if you're running it on your own server here, you might actually want that to be allow, not limit, because otherwise you access it too many times too quickly, and you'll have your firewall blocking you. So that should actually probably be allow. When I'm running my servers on HTTPS though, I usually want to have that set to limit so that Let's Encrypt can go in. People can access on port 80 through HTTP and be redirected to HTTPS. So that's why this one is typically, on my servers, I set it to limit. Allow all access on port 3443, again, using TCP. That might change in the future with Quick. Let's see, enable that firewall. Make sure it's enabled. Change UFW, make the state enabled, and then that's good. Next task was Ansible apt install packages for LEP. Right? Now this is the one that took a long time. But why did it take such a long time? Well, look, what we're doing is we're running apt. And what did we do with apt? We installed htop, git, rsync, snapd, nginx, php fpm, php pgsql, the database connection, and all these other different ones. XML RPC probably won't need that soon because that's going away with PHP 8. But you know, it's installing all of this software, the ASpell, the GraphViz, the Ghost script, the ClamAV, the ClamDscan, making sure that one's installed. Poplar utils, PostgreSQL and PostgreSQL contrib. All of that was installed by that one task. All right. And then there's our certbot. It's, again, this time it's using Snap. It's not using apt. It's using Snap to do the install. And we can specify classic installation because, you know, certbot needs those extra privileges. So it links and does all that. It sets up our Moodle directory. Makes, first of all, the Moodle directory and decides who the owner and the group should be. All right, I want to own my own stuff. So there we go. You might actually need to change this from Adam to whatever your username is going to be. Actually, should probably change that in the Git repository for you. But anyway, if you're watching this video, pay attention to that one. Watch out for the owner and the group. If you have non-existent groups, that's probably going to throw an error. Anyway, here again, that's Moodle and Moodle code. All right, in here, I can say, you know, set up a Moodle data directory, and that sets up our Moodle data directory. And it's, you know, got tighter permissions owned by www.data because that's who's going to be writing into that particular one. Clone Moodle into www. This is really cool. It's using Git to grab from the repository that Git branch that we specified at the very top of the file. All right, that's using Git. Right? It's not even, you know, some sort of strange, you know, locked up sort of a thing. It is a Git install. Love myself a good Git install. Git installs are awesome. So this is fantastic here. Recursively change ownership of the Moodle directory. All right, change it so that the owner becomes www.data, so I can actually install plugins using the web interface. Right? Set up a cron job. There's a cron module for Ansible. How cool is this, right? Setting up the Moodle cron job, we're going to put it in and say the job is that as user www.data. So you choose the user and you say into that cron job, what we want to do is PHP, and we want to grab the Moodle we're just installing here, right? PHP srv, the Moodle directory, wadmin cron php with our dev null and our, you know, error, standard error to stand out and stuff, and that's the cron job done. Wow, how cool is that? We set up Moodle config.php. This one's pretty cool. This is using a template file. So that's that template file that I said before. Take this as the source and put it here. This is where it should go. It should go into this destination file, this config.php. Put it there. Give it the mode of, well, everyone can read it, but that's it. It's owned by www.data, and it's not writable because it's 444. That means read only, right? So read only means that, hey, the security settings, the recommended security settings, www.data should not be able to change it. www can't change it. There we go. The virtual host, boom. Here it is. Stick, use this template, the virtual host template, and stick that in sites available right there. Symlink it. Make a symlink using a file thing. This is saying symlink that file we just made and symlink it across to sites enabled so that it's enabled. And then while you're there, remove the Nginx default site. This is again using file here. And this one here is saying, you know, the state should be absent. Absent. It should be absent. That's how it should be. And that means delete it. Okay. Restart Nginx. So this is where you can, you know, it sort of reminds me of the old way of doing it, not systemctl, but service Nginx restart. But you specify that and it restarts your Nginx and loads up that new thing. I mean, it should be noted that this is not checking along the way. If it fails, it'll just fail and give you an error message saying that failed. That did not work. So anyway, here this next task, add Postgres user. This is what I think. I'm not happy with how I did this. Because what I've done here is I've used sudo to change user to the Postgres, and run PSQL and execute this as PostgreSQL. Now, it works, but I'm not happy with it. I don't think this is the ideal way to set up a Postgres database. I'm sure that instead of using the command module, that there must be a Postgres module or something that I just have not seen yet. And yeah, I'm still learning Ansible, so I'm looking forward to actually finding a better way. Do you know of a better way? Please, comments below. That'd be awesome. If you can point me in the right direction, teach me something. Okay, one that I did find though is the ini file module, and that allows you to make changes to an ini file like a php.ini, right? And the ini file, then you can say, okay, go to the section PHP. The section is, in the square brackets, and Postgres max size should have this value. And this is the variable that I defined up above, and I forgot to put this in the double quotes at the start of the video, hence it messed up. Yep, hashtag no video editing. Okay, changed another one here. This is because you have to change both post max size and upload max file size to increase the maximum file upload limit. I added, an extra 0 under max input time and max execution time because I think, why not, give it a bit of a chance, and 10 minutes for max input and 5 minutes for max execution. If it times out then you've given it more than enough rope to go, and if it still times out, then you know that there's something broken. So also the memory limit. Moodle probably only typically uses up to, 80 megabytes or something for a PHP process, but stick it up to 256 and you probably never have any troubles. I have seen some scripts, usually in third-party plugins, that require more memory than the standard. Default is 128. But if you up that to 256, generally you shouldn't have any problems unless you've got a really memory-heavy third-party plugin. And there's our max input vars being configured right there. How cool is that? And once that's done, you restart your PHP 7.4 FPM, and I've got tags here all along the way, like PHP restart. So going back, if we say, okay, I have done all of that, but I'm going to go yes. All right, but this time, all I want to do is add a second Moodle to this same server. So this existing server, I want to have a second Moodle. All right, so what I can do now is I can run this, and I can specify the tag. It's behind me. Damn it. Come on. Come on. Oi. Oh, that is too small, is it? There we go. Okay, so here I can add dash dash, and I'm going to go tags, and I'm going to, in quotes here, I'm just going to say Moodle. So just do the Moodle part, right? So that's going to do that. It's going to ask me for my password again. I give it the password. And now look what it does. It skips over a whole bunch of stuff, sets up a Moodle directory, sets up the Moodle data directory for second Moodle, clones into second Moodle /www, and that's all it's going to do. It's just setting up the Moodle. It's not setting up anything else. Right? Because I specified the tags saying if the task does not have the tag of Moodle, don't do it. Just use the tag Moodle. That's all I want. Right? Typically, I might want to actually install it using the tag virtual host as well, so that it would configure another virtual host for the Nginx configuration, so that it'd be ready to go. But there we go. That's all done. All these sorts of things here. Look at that. It's set up a cron job for me as well, right? So everything regarding the Moodle part of the server is set up using second Moodle now. Let's have a look, shall we? SSH Adam at 192.168.86.183. All right. So sudo dash u www data crontab dash l. Let's have a look at that crontab and see what it wrote. So you can see here, what it's done here is it has set up a, ooh, intriguing. Huh, I didn't know it was going to do that. But it actually deleted the cron job that would have come from the first Moodle. So the second Moodle has overwritten it. And you can see that it's got this little hash at the front that's commenting this cron job out, meaning that this cron job is not actually running. Right? So that's a little bit interesting. I did not know that it was going to do that. I mean, seriously, I'm still learning Ansible myself. I'm excited about it, and I hope everyone starts talking about it because there are things like this. I'm not sure. How do you set it up so that it doesn't remove previous cron jobs? I don't know. If you know, please comment. Please help me. I don't know anything. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Anyway, you can see that that's there. If we go to cd/srv, you can see in here, I've got my Moodle. This is the first one that I did. And we've got second Moodle right there, which is the second Moodle that I installed. If I go into Moodle, you can see Moodle data and www. If I go into www, I can do a git status here. And you'll be able to see that this is on branch 401 stable. And it's all, it doesn't mess it up. Okay, so I'm going to start wrapping this up soon because I've already been going for 41 minutes. I guess, you know, feel a little bit guilty not making videos in like a month or so. But I hope you can see how cool this is, why I'm so excited about it, because this means that, you know, the automation goes beyond just setting up Moodle servers. Apt can run on it. So if you use CentOS, you know, Yum can run on it, no problem. So you can actually use it to upgrade servers and update servers and things like that. If you're a system admin who is running, say, 15 different servers or so, then you can do them all at once. If you go into, say, the hosts file that I made here, your Ansible thing, I only set this up with one line here. But if I had, say, you know, 5 or so servers, I can actually set these up, you know, and it's sort of like Bash. So I think what I can actually do, I haven't tried this, but for example, it's a 183, 184, 185, 186, 187. I can do something like this, 187 and close square brackets or something. Apparently that sort of thing is also doable. So you can actually set it up so that it will install a Moodle to multiple places at the same time. You could set up each individual line. So if I come here and say, okay, let's say on, copy that and paste it there, right? Exactly the same. But this one on 184 should be fakey.domainy.com or something. Fakey.domainy.com. No, just fakey.domainy.com. All right, you can do that. The same amount of time it'll take because it will be installing to both of these servers at the same time. And boom, in 2 minutes, you've installed 2 Moodles then. Wow, right? I mean, isn't this awesome? So Ansible, it's amazing. What can I say? Other than it's amazing, I hope that you join me on my journey. All right, I'm just starting out with Ansible myself. It's something I've recently just started using, and it's addictive. So if you're interested in automation and things like that and making your life easier, there is a learning curve to actually starting to learn Ansible and things like that. But, you know, join me. I'm going to hopefully be posting more about Ansible and new tricks and things like that I've come up with. If you know some tricks and things like that you think I should know about, please comment in the comments below and let me know about them, because at the moment I'm really just a newbie who's just going for it. But learning new stuff is cool. It's fun. It's empowering. It's addictive. So please, yeah, tell me all the. By the way, if you're an Ansible expert, please tell me all the things I got wrong, because I'm sure that I've got some mistakes in my stuff. Okay, as I said, I will put a link to the GitHub repository that has the Ansible playbook that I've got up there again, and I might look over it again for things that I need to fix or something before you guys use it. Until then, I'll catch you sometime later. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.